All right, so it's about that time for another, well, I guess talking head video, and this one kind of came to me as a bit of a surprise, but it has to be done because in truth, I am more or less at my wit's end to when it comes to gathering natural gameplay of the automatic. But before we go ahead and get started, I do want to let you guys know one very important thing that did happen very recently. I did get Discord partnership. Yeah, it took 7 tries, but I finally got access to those perks. So if you guys want to go ahead and jump into a fairly active community for the most part, you'll find me there pretty much every single day, either in the general chats or even in the voice channel itself. Come say hi. The link is going to be down in the description below. I just updated it. So with that being said, there you go. Check that out if you would like to. And also 3% discount, you know the whole spiel. But with that again being said, I know you guys hate me when I say that. Let's talk more about the automatic. So what you're seeing in the background is the initial gameplay. You're going to be hearing my voice a little bit back there as well. I do have it turned down significantly to where it won't overtake what we're saying right here. It'd be very weird hearing me double, right? But when it comes to the automatic, it's a vehicle that unfortunately is one that I have been putting on the shelf for quite a while now, simply because this vehicle just doesn't really compare to that of, say, the 2S6, the ADATs, the hell, even the the Stormer, etc. Because this vehicle in its prime was absolutely devastating. That infrared search and track was absolutely, and still is to this day, a superior shell type to a lot of proxy rounds compared to what you'll find on the CV9040s. You'll find, hell, even on some SAM systems, the proxy fuse, or excuse me, the engagement or AOE is just so large on this thing. But again, this vehicle in its prime was brilliant. Nowadays, again, it is very much outclassed by vehicles such as the 2S6, the ADATs, the Roland, the VT1 missiles found on the 4AK Rad, the ITO, etc. for the exact same battle rating. Now, a little bit more about the automatic itself. This is, of course, a battle rating 10.7 Italian top-tier SPAA. It is, unfortunately, the only one that they have right above the Saddam Mistral. Now, the Italians kind of need themselves a better SPAA. Because when you have, hell, even the Tor, I think coming in soon or is already out, I'm doing this before the update drops, you have a vehicle that is terribly inefficient, that it cannot even fight against drones. Now, that's a big issue, in my honest opinion. A vehicle that is supposed to be the top tier SPAA can't even fight drones. That's kind of a big problem. Now, don't get me wrong. The automatic as a whole is not a terrible vehicle. It handles very well. It's mobile, it has decent sights, it has good firepower. You have only 12 rounds of the APFSDS, which, in my opinion, is a little too low given the post-penetration effect of that 60mm, or excuse me, that 76mm dart. Trust me when I say you're going to have almost no post-pen effect. Now, don't get me wrong, the gameplay footage you're seeing in the background, I did very well in it for some weird reason for the most part. But man, did it take so many games just to get that one clip right there, especially when playing this as a dedicated vehicle. Now, I'd like to go more into that really quick so that I don't have too many people yelling in the comments, skill issue, or this or that for that matter, right? The automatic is a very situational type of vehicle. You have to bring it out at around the mid to late point of the game when there's lots of low-flying helicopters, A-10s, Su-25s, G91s, etc., which they do bring out top tier for some reason. That is when this vehicle excels. But as a first run vehicle, as I like to do, or at least is the format of my channel for all the videos, it doesn't really do me any service to showcase to you guys me doing basically nothing for minutes and minutes on end in a top tier environment where, again, you're being outplayed by SAM systems, which will reach your target well before your shells even come close to making an impact. And even then, any slight adjustment at significant distances will render your firepower useless because your shell's not going to track them. It's not going to follow them. Thing has to fly very straight, and there's very few situations where that might actually be the case, especially when the enemy knows they're being engaged by SPAA. But how about when it comes to tanks? At least fighting in the tanks. Now, you only have 12 rounds of the 76mm APFSDS. It does penetrate about as much as you would find with the HSTBL, so about 311mm of base pen, which is not a lot for a dart, but seeing that you get to fire that every 0.5 seconds, does make up a little bit, but you only have 12 rounds, and it does take, I wouldn't say significantly long time to rearm those types of sabos, but it does take long enough to be able to get them so that you can engage the enemy. And let's not forget the tallness or the really big frontal face of this vehicle. Your barrel sits so incredibly low into the turret itself that the enemy is going to be able to shoot you well before you can even get your gun to bear on them. And let's not forget to mention, -5 degrees of gun depression. It's not exactly a worthwhile vehicle to look into to engage other tanks. The darts are more or less used as a way to defend yourself against approaching enemy MPTs, which is what you'll kind of see in this this segment here too. I'll try to fast forward it just a little bit. I'm reminding myself in post to do that. So not to drag on the video for way too long, longer than it needs to be, the automatic is a brilliant vehicle, but unfortunately, it is very much outclassed by the 2S6, the ADATs, the Florak Rad, the AITOs. There really isn't too much of a reason to bring this out as a first-time spawn. Hell, I would even say bringing out the Saddam Mistral might even be a better choice at times. But don't get me wrong, using the automatic is unbelievably satisfying. Getting all those kills with the proxy round, trust me, it's very, very satisfying to do. Unfortunately, when it comes to the format of my channel, it just really isn't up to par to what I'd like to do, what I like to show you guys, because again, I like to show you things in a sort of unrealistic fashion just for the shits and giggles, but this vehicle just wasn't really it. And I would rather not stitch 10 different videos into just a kill montage. That's just not really my thing. It's easy to do, don't get me wrong, I could do this in a heartbeat. But it's not something I like to do to you guys because, again, it doesn't fit the message that I'm trying to portray to you as the average player, the new, the pro, etc. So, last time I'll say this, I promise. With all that being said, I want to know, what do you think of the automatic? Is this still a viable vehicle in 2022, going on into 2023? Is it something that you can still use? Maybe it's a last-ditch effort to, I guess, resist the enemy team, or use it as a satisfying way of knocking out targets at short range when all else has really failed, even amongst your teammates with their superior SPAAs and their SAM systems. Again, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And I get this is kind of a cop-out, don't get me wrong, I understand it. This was a very, very frustrating vehicle to play. It really was in this format. I still enjoy it, I'll still play it, just not to the level that would constitute a dedicated video. So it's better than the M41D, I'll tell you that now, but you probably won't see me make another video on this unless something changes. Unless maybe they give it a full belt of darts, which would be kind of stupid, but I would love it just because why not? Or I don't know. I don't really see what they can do with this vehicle to make it any better, but it's not any worse, I would well imagine. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I'm sorry if it's not exactly what you wanted, but it's something that has to be said, at least for me in this channel. And I guess that kind of fulfills the desire to see this vehicle as a whole. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you not only in the next video or even the streams, but maybe in Discord itself when you guys check out that link. Come on, it's awesome. Help me out here. I'm trying to get that community built up. Let's get some random squads going. I'll see you guys next time.